Right. All right. So we have gotten to the sign of Libra next. Now, Libra, one of the things that I noticed when I rolled the die for you was that some of the energy that you've been going off of, or at least some of the energy that you have been perceived to be around, is Capricorn energy. Or maybe you've just been developing a lot of Capricorn traits. Now, some of this is based off of Sagittarius energy, connecting to higher intuition, connecting to higher sentient beings, or experiencing what you could perceive as a much wider world, right? A much more expansive experience connected to the Jupiter energy. So that's also connected to Capricorn right now through the transit, and also Piscean energy, which I believe the right way that you've been going about it has been Piscean in nature and understanding the principles of what it means to be spiritual, but at the same time, understanding that there's a necessary need uh, for a grounded approach to things. Now, one thing I'll also say about you, Libra, as well, is that with that Sagittarian energy, it could be that you guys are being pulled towards the Sagittarian type energy. At the same time, it could just be that after reviewing your life or things on the physical level, understanding the spiritual concepts and how those play a role in karma and your relationships, at this point in time, I feel like what you feel that's left is pretty much a higher sense of knowledge. Or another thing that I can draw from this too is that maybe some of you guys have been left with no choice but to seek higher education, going to college, things like that. Or maybe you guys have been just left with the choice of college. But regardless, um, I want to go ahead and go into your astrology chart, right? Because that's just for this die alone. Okay, so let's see. For Libra. Okay, so you guys have probably been to one degree or another, really feeling fearless with your emotions, or even fearless in the sense that like maybe you guys are connecting to intuition right now, like I was mentioning. So being able to connect to intuition makes you pretty fearless. You guys have Scorpio in your second house, so this is dealing with your self worth and how much value you perceive to have, as well as the value you impart on others. Now, um, you guys have had Pluto and Jupiter, and of course Saturn, having had gone through your fourth house of Capricorn. Now you got Saturn in your fifth house, so you might feel like you're being restricted from going out and meeting everybody that you want to. Libra is a very social sign, so it's not very much of a surprise when Libra wants to go out, wants to socialize, and uh, well, that's restricted. I mean, I don't know if the whoever it is that's running the world. Do you think they see astrology, or do you think they invented it and just kind of go along with the flow of things? Go ahead and answer that in the comments below. I want to see what you guys think about that. I kind of feel like maybe the elites are some kind of angels, or like fourth dimensional or higher third dimensional entities that they see the flow of energy, they see the flow of the universe, and as far as our solar system goes, they see the flow of the information going around the chart. Maybe they have a chart of their own, right? So I have no idea. I just see the energy, how it goes, and I just go along with it. So um, with that, you guys have you guys Okay, so 12, 10. You guys have the North Node going from your 10th house to your ninth house. You guys might have been placing a lot of energy into your jobs, putting a lot of care into your profession. I do feel like maybe this, in some way, shape, or form, does have to do with skills and abilities. Now, I feel like now you guys are going to be talking about your dreams more often. The first thing was to set an impression for something, and then at this point, as you talk about it, that's going to be the basis of what makes you famous, Libra. So, if you guys have been starting a business or you guys have been working on a business, that'll be confirmation for you guys. Um, Other than that, you got Uranus going uh, through your eighth house sector of Taurus. You also got the moon and you also got Mercury. So both Mercury and Uranus, they'll show you different ways in which you can follow the money. Um, all of these different ways are transformative in their own right, and at the same time, this is something that you're going to be noticing right off the bat. Money's going to change you. So whether that changes you into a good person or bad person, Libra, I have no idea. That's all dependent on you and how you take your relationships with other humans. So, yeah, that's very. Huh. Okay, yeah, that's very. Oh. Okay, so the long story short, um, you guys are going to be doing a lot of different things on a daily basis, and these things are going to help to build some type of, like, I want to say spiritual schedule, but it's more of a spiritual, like an everyday spiritual approach to life, which is very good, Libra. I like to see stuff like that. I like to see Libras taking control of their own minds, and that's typically what you get with that. Now, with these cards, one of the things that I will say, this card was sideways. I feel like some of you guys have built up some of that self esteem that you need, while at the same time, I feel like your chakras still need to be activated. In the same sense, I feel like you guys are kind of like half focused in a sense that, like, you know the direction that you need to be traveling, which is forward, and you know that your emotions and your heart, they tell you, well, you might be envious of somebody maybe in that same direction, but your 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 intuition's telling you that you have to have that change of heart, Libra. You have to have that change of heart. I get the heart right here because this is green on the stingray, right? It's right here between the blue and the yellow, and at at the same time, look at blue and yellow, blue and yellow right here. This energy right here, in order to be able to focus, you have to share um, you have to share what's on your mind, but you have to communicate it. And at the same time, you got to communicate what you feel in your heart. X marks the spot on the stingray for where the heart is. So, in the same sense, put a bullseye on your heart and look at your heart and see what it is that's in your heart, right? What kind of vessel are you? And if you are not the vessel that you were looking for, go ahead and pull the trigger and become something greater. You guys have the firefly coming right at the bottom of the deck, so everything's situated upon shining bright like a diamond, basically. And this is your knowledge. This is your happiness. See, we got that yellow right over here too. So when it comes to the um, the opening of the sacral chakra, I mean the opening of the solar plexus chakra, you have that connection to higher self. But this is an air sign, so as a firefly is only, like, They only like flash in and then they flash out. This is insight that you'll be gaining. I feel like there's a necessary need to be more playful. I feel like you've been grouchy and been stinging a lot of people around you lately. So there's a little bit less of this that needs to that a little bit less stinging that needs to be happen, right? And a lot more happiness and socialization and things like that. I think as you get out there and you socialize, you'll find your own ways to like cope with various different things that are going on in life for you. And no matter how busy you get, everything's circling around you. And of course, I do got to mention that the universe has your back. Although sometimes you might feel frustrated, you might feel backed into the corner. Sometimes it's just necessary to take a look at some of the smaller details that are going on in your life and find out, if those aren't the things that you want to change, go ahead and make changes as necessary. Also, one thing that I want to draw upon too is that both of these cards have patterns on them. Skin. I don't know if any of you Libras are dealing with dry skin. I do feel like maybe even dry skin of the feet because little lizards have feeties. Uh, Dragons have big old feeties. And yeah, I would just go ahead and leave it at that. All right. Main message though is don't rush it. Don't rush it. All right. So now we're going to be moving into the fairy oracles, and let's see what the fairy oracles have to say to you, Libra. Hmm. I think I'm going to do this one, and then I'm going to go to sleep, and then when I wake up, I'm going to do the rest of them. So, yeah, because, it's just 3 in, and I'm already tired. And I just took my pre-workout, and I'm probably still going to be tired. But I love it. All right, so Libra, um, certainly things that have felt like they were on the verge of being delayed forever kind of end. And I do feel like this is for a lot of little different things that I feel are connected to what a Libra would feel like during a pandemic like this or during a perceived pandemic, right? Because, oh, well, you know what? I don't even want to go into that lest my channel be taken down for conspiracy theories and stuff like that. So, ding, 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 right, little bell. All right, so yeah, I do feel in some sense, Libra, that like you've been saying things one way, acting another. Um, the Gloncomer is one of those creatures that is never really their true selves. They're pretty deceitful. They say one thing and do another. They go and do this one thing, but then, when asked about it, they're like, "Oh, well, we didn't do anything wrong." And so the Gloncomer, it's a shapeshifter basically, and the Gloncomer is basically saying, you understand your power, you understand the ability that you have to shift, and of course, this includes shifting karma as things are happening right now for a lot of people around the world. And at the same time, shifting your perceptions because this guy is naked. It's all about the clear, undiluted decisions behind whether to like increase your trust or increase your distrust. Huh. Increase your trust. I think as you focus, you'll increase your trust a lot better, or you'll focus more on the intuitive messages that you get. Yeah, too busy. I feel like you guys need to slow down for a second. Lewis the Wild, he's always just flurry, always from one pond leaf to another, and in that same sense, it's telling us it's telling us from what the moth was telling us here in this card is don't be hasty, don't rush into things, think about things, and everything should be more closely aligned with your soul mission and what you came here to do. Until then, I don't see any new beginnings and anything. I see this more of as like a continuation of any happy energy that you have. Eventually, it's going to die, it's going to be put to death, etc., etc. But at the very least, through death is the transformation of mind, body, and soul. So you can't make this up, guys. All right, now we are going to move into the Rider Waite. Hey, look at that! I'm at 15 minutes. I might actually get this done before 20. But it's not like I'm trying to hurry, Libra. But I know you wouldn't want me to hurry, right? Okay. I go at the speed at which the universe lets me know. All right, so this is definitely about a give and take. Um, I feel like things are pretty balanced. Um, Six of Pentacles with the feline. I feel like maybe there's just a little bit more work on one side than the other. Um, I feel like both sides are even in a sense. For some of you Libras, like you hold power, but so do the other people or entities, and I feel that a lot of that has to do with that focus that needs to take place. So, all right, there's definitely transformation in the air, and yeah, the reason why you made this decision is because you want to be happy. You did it for the sake of your own happiness, which is a very good thing, right? You want to have uh, that type of effect when you make changes that are based on a cause and effect, and it's basically a happiness that's built upon trusting values and being fair, because that's what you are. You're fair, and this is actually the Libra card. Very interesting that it came out. And in order for your cycle to end, you have to stand in your full power and gain that kundalini rise, that emotional magnetic frequency spin that you need in order for you to be able to end old cycles. You're already on the verge of slowing down because you noticed most of you guys were pretty what would I say most of you guys were pretty uh, rushed, I guess you could say. But regardless, though, um, I do see happiness in your guys' future, and this reading is basically telling me that the happiness is from dropping a false illusion that maybe you may have had for quite a while. And I do feel on some note that some of you guys are not really like looking for love. I do feel like some of you guys feel like there could be bad luck, bad messages, things like that. Whatever it is that you think is going to make your reality. So for those of you guys who do feel that sense of like not being able to, uh, not being able to see where you can heal things on an everyday level, like it can get pretty frustrating for some people, and of course something like that might lead you to not make any type of like decisions. So I and in a sense too, I feel like you guys understand that these are transformations that are taking place. At the same time, I do feel that you do feel there is something that does need to be put to death, and at the same time, you know, there is that feeling that there are new things that are on the horizon, and a lot of these things have happen to do with your happiness, with maintaining the balance, maintaining the order, and not just looking at the greater detail, but understanding the greater picture as a whole. So there might be some things that do surprise you, but don't be surprised by me saying that. Um, don't even let it make you unhappy either. Okay, so um, looking at the top, you guys have the judgment in the reverse. So I don't think you guys are going to be making a decision on whatever it is that actually some of you guys. Okay, so some of you guys haven't made this decision yet. So that's what this reading for is for. Some of you guys haven't made the decision yet, and some of you guys are kind of weighing the pros and the cons. So so the judgment, it pertains on two things. One, are you going to not walk away and continue to not like nurture yourself? I mean, this could be something that you walk away from on the emotional level, but I feel like this is some. I mean, if it's walking away, dealing with AIDS, so it deals with karma, and the Empress, this you're not giving yourself self care. And I think you need to walk away from this pattern of not giving yourself self care, Libra. Like, I feel like you do so much for other people, you don't really provide that much time for yourself, and you don't provide the necessary quantum leap that you need in order for you to be able to turn it around and kind of give yourself the um, the satisfaction of doing things for you. I feel like some of you guys are, in a sense, kind of like keeping yourselves from walking away just simply for the fact that maybe you guys feel like you don't deserve self care. Like maybe I don't know. I feel mostly that you guys are stuck in a mindset that is keeping you from realizing that you do have the ability to kind of keep yourself um, mentally stable enough to understand where certain cycles have to end. So with that, yeah, and it comes through with the Queen of Swords in the reverse. She's all about connecting to people on an intellectual level, and that's all she's looking to do. I mean, that's all you're looking to do too. And actually, I would say that this symbolizes you perfectly. But this is a necessary need to get yourself mentally back on track. And once you do, you'll see the changes happening real quick. I know some of you guys might be feeling like um, imbalance, not like you're not able to keep track of the ball, and at the same time, I feel like you guys feel like the wheel of fortune is not turning in your favor, but opportunity does knock on doors sometimes, but sometimes you got to go knock on opportunity's door too. And along with that, let's see what else is underneath. All right, so regardless, I know you guys might be feeling like you're at a loss, or maybe like you've lost something. Um, Holding on to those ideas or those thought patterns, it's only going to keep your wheel from turning, basically. All right, cool. Now I want to go and draw the camera down so you guys can see where the dice roll. And this is going to tell the energy that you guys are going to be moving into during this uh, period here, going towards a new moon. Remember, this is a full moon that we're experiencing, so everything's going to start ramping down from here, and things are going to start to calm down and stuff. Cancer. So tell me why I see 69 too. But Cancer energy. All right, so let's see. Cancer energy is all about caring. It's all about nurturing. Um, it's all about what do you care about, right? And so I think a lot of what's going on right now is you guys are going to be focusing in on a lot on what you care for and how you know you care for it and what you do to nurture it on an everyday basis, how you present it to the people and the crowds and your friends, your family, stuff like that. And at the same time, this has to deal with communication. So sometimes it might be necessary not to communicate anything at all, as opposed to communicating something to even somebody who you care and nurture for. Um, I don't. I mean, for some of you guys, I feel like that's people that you deal with that uh, don't have a sense of integrity and will share your secrets, type of thing. I do feel like that's what's got you kind of like stopped for a second. Like, whoa, hold on. So, and it all deals with like being able to bring your focus back on track. Gemini is also one of those times. Um, of emails and text messages and stuff like that. So maybe emailing and text messaging people, um, or maybe it's just pointing out that the Gemini energy is going to be very important since the North Node is getting ready to go into Gemini. So let's see what else we can get from this. All right, so um, a lot of this like walking your talk and making sure that whatever it is that you say and do are synonymous together. It has to do with your north node and with the way that your north node is pulling you. It's going to be putting you into a spot where maybe you don't want to be in that spot, right? Having to do with careers and stuff like that. But if you really think about it, your expression is really what's going to drive other people to interact with you. And also at the same time, that brings your happiness too. So, in a sense, it's like you're using your mind and your expression and the energy that's pulling you and, the way that it's pulling you to bring balance and peace to your life. And at the same time, to try to bring some happiness and to try to bring some expansive expression some expansive expression to our daily lives. So last one. Ooh, 12, 11, and 7. All right, so there is the ability to do things big, especially with Jupiter in Capricorn. But it requires for you to follow your intuition uh almost spot on. And it's also letting you know that, regardless of whatever it is that you might feel like, maybe your path is foggy, maybe your brain is foggy, maybe something else is foggy. And a lot of the times you're going to be thinking, well, is this real? Am I living, like, say for instance, in a simulated world? What's really going on here? And uh and overall, the right way to approach it is to just be yourself and express it. And all you'll have left after that is, well, what I would see as a super organized um anything. But at first deals with, overcoming who we think we are. And at the same time, that can only happen with reflection and then connection to intuition. So with that, um I want to go ahead and say that if you guys haven't done so, go ahead, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell down next to the subscribe button so that you guys can catch more videos like these. And I will be coming out with the rest of the 9 videos here later today. And yeah, and make sure that you guys have that notification bell hit so that you guys can receive the notifications for when these videos start popping out. After I finish the round of all the individual signs, I will do a collective reading for this new moon to see, where we're headed towards, and to see more or less how the storyline is progressing. I will have other YouTube channels out soon enough, and those, you guys can find them on my Facebook page. I can go ahead. I will be going ahead to making sure that that information can be accessed. Now, until that happens, I hope that you guys stay safe. I hope that you guys can do things in a big way. Be fearless, communicate it however you need to, and just maintain that focus and build that spine. And that's basically what I see for you, Libra. So if you guys resonate with it, cool. If you guys don't, chuck it. But this is what seems to be going on. in your guys' lives. So, with that, I am David with Tarot and Astrology for All. It was fun. Thank you for all the love and support, and I will see you guys next time.